Good evening. Welcome to Fresh HQ. I'll be your host. My name is Marty, and I'm someone who works too late on a Friday afternoon. I'm also very inconsistent in creating content and YouTube videos, so I thought it's probably time. This one's a bit of an update if anyone's been following along of what we've been trying to do at Freshfront, and bit of a status update of what I've been up to, what we've been doing with the business. It's been an interesting journey. And I'm sorry, this background is fucking hectic, isn't it? Look at that. It's like some sort of hypnosis tool. I'm not trying to be a hip podcaster. I tried to paint this wall and I couldn't be fucked, so I just went to Bunnings and bought these slat things. So maybe if I just do this. Ooh, that's trendy. So Freshfront, what's happening? What are we doing? About 2 years ago, I made the decision to franchise the business. That came about by growing the business to a decent level, like a single location business. We were doing about 1.5 million revenue. We had a team of up to 10 people at one point. And I was looking for the way to grow that thing. Looking at other states, other markets. I'd spent time with other businesses all around the country, and I knew enough to be dangerous. Also knew a lot of their pain points and issues, and everyone had a lot of the same ones. A lot of those we'd solved. So I felt like I had something to offer the market. Also the fact I've been doing this for nearly a decade, so I've been balls to the wall running a home service business for a decade. That will change a man. You learn a lot of shit because it's an industry where there's lots and lots of moving pieces, and sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze. What I mean by that is if you're trying to scale something up to, 7 figures or whatever, there's periods of time where you just don't get to make any money and you have to pay people to go in front of you. So when you could probably use those skills in another vehicle and probably make more money, but I like to be consistent, or try to, and that's why I just keep doing this. However, I did look at ways in which we could grow the business, through maybe taking some of the systems, some of the lessons, things around, could we license some of the things we do. I was pretty anti-franchise because I had the same view that everyone else has. They don't really work, this and that. We don't want to be like gyms, blah, blah, blah. But the more I looked into it, the more it just came back to franchising. From a legal perspective, if you try and do anything grey area, it could get really messy for you. And also it just works. I've actually sat down and kind of helped out and coached a bunch of other businesses around the country, and they all had the same issues, and a lot of them were like, hey, yeah, I've already solved that, but you need to have A, B, C, D, E in place to fix F. And then it was just really hard for people to do. So classic example, I want to hire some staff. What do I do? Cool. What's your P&L? What's your gross margin? Where does your labor rate sit? What's your pricing? I don't know. I don't have those things in place. Oh, okay. Why don't you have those things in place? Oh, we're not really using job management. We're using like a Google Calendar, and I kind of just charge $1,500 a day. Great. You are not going to be able to really grow the business with staff unless you fix those things. So it's like an unraveling of all these systems and things that are intertwined, and you need to kind of have all your ducks in a row. So with franchising, I just figured, well, we've already got that. Why don't we just give people the machine, the racing car, and then we just help them win the race? So once again, naively, I thought it would be, I didn't think it would be simple, but I thought I could do everything at once, when in reality, you have to be all in. So I had to pull back my own business location, my corporate location, because we had a bunch of staff. With that brings a bunch of issues, scheduling issues, feeding the beast, so to speak, with sales and lead gen. And the way things were structured probably weren't segmented enough. So a lot of things came back to me, and it was quite overwhelming. So it was either I could just do that, and yes, I would make much more money, or if I really want to grow this thing properly in terms of take it to other states and things like that, I would have to probably pull back, and that's what we did. So the first year of the franchise journey was probably just learning about franchising and doing the like documentation side of it, which was pretty follow the bouncing ball, to be honest. And what we ended up out of that with the end result of that, it wasn't something I was particularly pumped about. It was a, hey, here's a friend, you've got a franchise system, off you go. So I didn't feel super confident about that, and I didn't know what to do about the business. But yeah, made some hard decisions about a year and a bit ago, pulled back my own location, really worked hard to make it super profitable, which meant I had to jump on the truck and punch through a bunch of work. Had less staff, dialed in our systems even more, and kind of opened my eyes up to the opportunity of how a truck in our business might run, through to how to do the quotes, how to follow it up, how the software works, how the marketing works, all these things, and then systemizing every part of the business. So it was actually a very good experience to get back on there and iron out the kinks and get better. And we made a bunch of bucks that allowed me to then go back and restart the franchising journey. So I literally scrapped everything and paired up with legal representation that I thought was probably on more on my side, and we rebuilt all our agreements. We also rebranded the entire company. We rebuilt some of our technology stack. We rebuilt our website. We rebuilt internal processes, really to prepare for what the reality of franchising would be. So a ton of work, a ton of outlay for no income. So franchising is not a bolt-on. It's not a, hey, you're doing well, let's just do franchising. It is a complete separate business in a highly regulated environment in Australia. So other countries, probably not so much. Australia's super regulated with franchising. We have the Franchise Code of Conduct, which, for example, every year you have to create a disclosure document which discloses warts and all, everything you do in your system, down to if someone failed or someone signed up or what things cost, all that sort of stuff. That's got to be updated every year. And generally you've got to get a lawyer to review it, just in case there's any changes in the code of conduct that you're not privy to. Because if you don't, you will be in a bit of shit down the track, and it will cost you lots of money. So it's an expensive thing, but good things cost money. That's my mentality around it. So it's not something you just bolt on, just do on the side. It just does not work that way. And if it does, you might be able to sell a bunch of them, but will they be successful? And I'll get to that shortly. So yeah, that's been the journey so far. So earlier this year, we actually had everything in line where we're like, okay, rebranded, systems in place, legal documentations in place, structures in place, had a good understanding about what I thought the opportunity was in franchising, and then we started offering that to market. So now the challenge you have as a new business, no one knows you, no one trusts you, so you've really got to go out there and build trust. Now, I'm pretty fucking transparent about everything, and that actually worked to my favor. So I didn't have a problem connecting with people. And in fact, the eye-opener was it's actually quite easy to generate leads for selling a franchise business. Like if you want to, sell it, find franchisees and sell an opportunity, it's actually pretty easy. There's tons of people out there looking for that. The problem is once you sell, which I absolutely hate that term in franchising because it's not what it's about, but once you sell a franchise, you are in a legal contractual relationship that's probably more stringent than a marriage for at least the next 5 years or whatever your term is. So you've not only got to help these people be successful, you've got to work day to day with them, particularly in an early system. So I was super selective about who the first franchise partners would be because I wanted people that would be successful, that I could work well with, that understood what we were offering. And that's really important. Franchising is actually a great opportunity. Now, like I said earlier, I was against it. I didn't know enough about it. But business is all about leverage, right? And the more leverage you've got, the more power, the more flexibility you've got. Now, if we think about leverage in terms of time, say you run a website and you do blog posts over a long period of time, maybe a property manager is going to see that and give you a big bunch of work, right? That's leverage. That's low incremental activities for a big payoff. So the more of that you can get, the better. And franchising allows just literal instant time leverage because you've got me, a founder of a business that's been all in for nearly 10 years, that's scaled to over $1 million, that's done all the good, all the bad. I could tell you some stories that would make your hair stand on end of things that I've had to do or done throughout the business journey. But you just get that on day one. And, people who are interested in purchasing or getting into franchise opportunities, they don't have business knowledge, but they're keen. They want to run a business, but they want to actually take all of that experience, all of that knowledge and exploit it for their own good. And that's a great thing. That's the opportunity in franchising. So all of our franchise partners are getting every mistake I've ever made, every refinement, every system, every good thing, bad thing, blind corner, you get it on day one. So that is massive. So that's the true power of franchising. It took me a little while to kind of understand that, but now that I've seen it in action in our system, it's pretty fucking cool. So why franchising? Like, why not just run the corporate location? And when I say corporate location, that's what's referred to as like your own business with staff and just growing that out. Couple of reasons. I am not a good manager of people. I don't enjoy managing people. It shits me to tears. It's not my it's not my game. I used to be that in the corporate world. I was a middle level manager. I fucking hated it because I like getting shit done. I like building things. I like moving fast. I don't like telling Johnny that he should show up on time and do things a certain way. That just makes me feel horrible inside. Whereas franchising, I saw the opportunity, although there is compliance, we have to obviously toe that line. I saw the opportunity to actually just help fellow business owners with a system that we could openly share information with and a playbook that I already knew. So that was one of the things that pushed me towards that over running a corporate location. The other thing was it was going to be a lot easier to scale to other states, which was exciting because I've spoke to contractors around the country. I could see what they're doing. I could see their markets. I could see what was good, what was bad. And I was like, I could probably, find some opportunities here. But the issue is there's no way in hell that you're going to run that with a corporate team with employees because no one's going to care like a business owner. So you need that buy-in at some point. There's different ways to do it. But once again, for this kind of business, it comes back to franchising. I also saw some power in the systems that we'd created. Speaking with other people in our kind of industry or just general home services, I could see that we were a couple of steps, if not a couple of fucking runways in front of the average person. And that's only because I have this weird autistic level of dedication to just learning one particular thing. It's not that I'm special or anything's like I'm unique. I just go hard at things for long enough until they work. So I could see that we had something there. And most of the people in our current industry are not interested because they don't see the opportunity because of bad perceptions, or they are happy doing what they're doing, and that's fine. Like, success is different for everyone. But I could definitely see like the ability to pair a really motivated, bought-in business owner with shit hot systems and tech and a founder-led vision to just help them speed run that 0 to 1 million journey. Recreating that is what excites me. And I must say, not every one of our franchisees wants to do that, but hey, they've got the opportunity to do it and they've got the playbook. And if they want to take it 1/3 of the way there or 1/10 of the way there, it doesn't matter. It just means they're doing in the most efficient way. So that was the reason for franchising. And ultimately, from a business point of view, a franchise business is probably going to have more value, more scalability, more longevity than a traditional corporate-owned location. And the great thing about franchising is you're bringing capital in to help grow the business. So obviously money, capital to help purchase equipment and things like that, but also intellectual capital. You're bringing people in from other industries, other areas, so you get this vibrance in your business that's hard to recreate elsewhere. So that's the reason. Whereas it's not just sitting on a beach with a fruity cocktail and just living it up and buying a Bugatti or whatever. Like that just doesn't work. Maybe down the track if you really, really crush it, but it's not a short-term money-making exercise. So for me, it was probably a smarter way to scale based on my skills or my more unique skills. So that was the reason. The recruitment process of finding franchisees was, like I said, interesting. The first ones are always the hardest because people don't trust you. So I really appreciate the guys that have stuck their neck out to be a part of what we have. And just quietly, I think they appreciate it too because they're doing quite well. But yeah, building that trust is hard, but it was actually quite easy to generate leads. Now, I'll say that because Fresh Front, as a business, as a franchise system, is a tech-driven sales and marketing company. Although we do soft washing and pressure cleaning and home service, you strip all that shit away, the secret sauce is the ability to run, lead generation and conversion and retention and all the tech and the digital plumbing to glue it all together. That's really what Fresh Front is. So we had a guy recently who's kind of interested in maybe launching a Fresh Front business, and his point was like, why not just go get the equipment and do it yourself? Like, what's so different? And it took me a bit of discussion with him to actually work out what this secret sauce is. And yeah, we're a tech-driven lead gen company. So we just happen to know a lot about the exterior cleaning space, but deep down, the value we bring to our franchise partners is the ability to make the phone ring and make their life easier using technology. So that is Fresh Front. But yeah, the journey of finding franchisees, very easy to generate those leads. Probably harder to qualify out, and for us, it's like a selection, an awardment process, a process of awarding a franchise location, not just selling, because you're turning someone's life upside down. Like, you're literally put their livelihoods on the line. They're investing some money. They're maybe leaving a career, their family, all that stuff. And because I've done it, I was literally in corporate myself and had all the same pain points that our franchise partners had. And I went out crazily and started from zero, knowing nothing about business in an industry I knew nothing about, and had to build it all. And it was fun and a great challenge, but I wouldn't probably do that again because the shit times outweigh the good times. Much more. So I could see that. I could empathize with those people, and what we have is not suitable for everyone. So I've definitely said no to more people than we've said yes to, which is tough because there's the bit we could make money out of it through the initial investment and things like that. But long term, it's not going to work if we don't have the right people. So yeah, Fresh Front is definitely like, it's not an easy system to get into, but that's good. So the experience so far, we have 4 franchise partners now just in Adelaide, and the reason we've done that just locally is so we can keep everyone close and refine the system and sharpen the axe, and that's exactly what we've been doing. So Uh, Three of those are new people who've left careers, changed their lives, set up with us, and they're rolling. And one of those is Daniel, who's been with us as an employee for 7 and a bit years, or maybe longer. And he was really excited about the opportunity to take the systems that he could see day to day, make it his own, and run his own business. And like, he's going to absolutely crush it because he's very good at doing the work, the selling, the operations, the whole thing. And now it's our job to just help him become a business owner. So that's what we're running so far. We're looking at other states. Probably Victoria's the next area that I would like to investigate. We have some other territories in South Australia as well. Our system is not heavily populated with territory. So it means that we might have half a dozen up to 8 maybe franchise partners across the whole state in SA, and then they have the ability in the breathing room to add multiple trucks. Something freaked out on the computer. They have then the ability in the breathing room to add multiple trucks, grow their business, or at least they're not, saturated. We didn't want that. So how we do the territories, we've actually used a third-party agency that does a lot of territory mapping for all the big brands, and they look at things like the socio-economic index, in SA previous jobs that we've done across the areas to work out where we're in demand. They look at numbers of housing, whether that's units, townhouses, freestanding homes. They look at commercial properties with employees of more than 5, which would assume they have maybe a facility. And then we build like kind of an algorithm to work out what the unit of demand is for that territory. And then we make sure that each territory has the same unit of demand. So it's actually it's mapped out very carefully. Our territories are massive, so there's tons of opportunity. And the cool thing is the territory is really just for local marketing. All our guys and girls can go back and forth and swap jobs and share the love. It just means that everyone's working their territory from a marketing perspective, which is very cool and very effective. Other states will have more territories. So for example, like Victoria has a lot more territory, more density to play with. So we're going to map those out slightly differently, but using the same algorithm, the same formula, if that makes sense. So that's how territories work in our system. Some other systems, like the bigger brands, have really tight territories. You get one postcode or something like that. Some of those bigger brands have what's called a master franchisor arrangement, and that's where you've got the franchisor who's running the whole system, then you've got the master who's in charge of reselling and supporting a certain number of territories. Now that sometimes can get messy because suddenly that master franchisor's job or priority is to sell units rather than particularly promote success for the brand. It depends on how the structure is set up, but sometimes that can be a bit of a trap. So we don't have a master relationship right now. Might happen down the track if we network with someone or link up with someone that wants to build something cool. But at the moment, we're keeping it simple and really just focusing on franchisee success. So who are the franchisees? I'm not going to name names because you could probably see them on social media if you're stalkers, but they are coming from different backgrounds, but kind of the same theme. So we've got guys from corporate, long time in the corporate world, people from FIFO. That's a massive one. There's a ton of people in the FIFO industry who are just having a really hard time and are looking for something else. And also industries like transport. So the themes are either corporate, where people are just fucking done with the madness of corporate, which I totally understand, or people who are looking for like time with family, to be around the place more, jobs that are demanding where you're physically just away for too long. So they're the kind of people. There's also in terms of just speaking with people as well, other business owners who've run other businesses, who've run other franchise systems, which is actually really exciting to speak with. People in other industries, white collar stuff, who just want to get out and do something for themselves. So I can relate to that because that was my background. And everyone brings a different sort of attribute to the table in terms of success and what they could do with the system, and then we just have a discussion and see where it goes. So it would be awesome to get someone from the industry, whether they had an existing business and maybe they wanted to speed run it and sharpen it up and grow it and fix a bunch of stuff and become a fresh front owner. I think that would be a unique opportunity, but it's not the right fit for everyone. You have to be a certain kind of person, particularly someone who understands leverage. Like, if you've got a system that can really help you make more money, do more with less, save you a bunch of time and stress, help you get staff if you want to scale and do staff. If not, it makes your business lean and mean and more profitable. But if you've got all that on day one, and then 3 years down the track, 5 years down the track, what's it going to look like versus trying to solve all those problems now, 3 years down the track, 5 years down the track, you're at day one of what we have available now. To me, it seems a bit crazy. So the other cool thing is obviously with brand, like we've noticed here in SA, brand is really starting to work. It's working on all angles. People are interested in joining us as a franchise partner because they see cool brand, and we got cool swag. Does any other exterior cleaning companies have cool shit like this? Really? I've seen a couple of like Chat GPT versions of this guy floating around. This is Clean Dean. Clean Dean. He was hand drawn, well, probably drawn on an iPad, but hand drawn by the guys at Total Design. We're super pumped about Clean Dean. He's all over the trucks. He's the epitome of the perfect exterior cleaning legend. He's just there to help. He's old school service, but with a lot of new school backing and technology and speed. So that's what we've got going. We're loving the brand. We're having fun with the brand as well. So if you look on the socials, there's some interesting stuff. Experiences so far with early franchise partners, on the whole, really good. Without flexing too much on numbers, all of our guys in their first ever month of business, never run a business before. Here's the training. Here's the truck. We're going to help you out. Literally 20 grand of revenue in their first month, which is amazing validation. It makes, this thing that I've invested in, this idiot Marty who's run all these silly ads that I clicked on actually works. The feedback I've had is, fuck, everything you said you would do, you've done, and the things that you've spoke about have happened. Now, maybe I'm just very careful about what I under promise, over deliver, but we're also working really hard to get success for these guys. So those numbers are, yes, a little bit rookie numbers for this kind of business. You can certainly pump it up, but I don't think there'd be many people who have in their first month of business literally got their equipment set up, ready to roll, and bang, they're able to hit the ground running. What is causing that? What is facilitating that? Great training, great systems, great tech, great support. We're not doing it all for them, but we're certainly providing the system. And I've said that to all our guys. And we make a bit of a joke about it. Fresh Front is not a pressure cleaning company. It's not an exterior cleaning company. It's a system. It's a system you follow, from how to get the jobs on the schedule, how to manage the schedule, how to follow customers up, how to sell the jobs, how to do the marketing, what we do, what they do, how the technology piece works together. There's a bunch of stuff that just happens in the background with the tech stack that we use that our franchisees don't even know about. They just see the fruits of that and the results of that. So that's what we're trying to build. It's not a restrictive system. they've got full freedom to build the business in the way they see fit. There's certain services they don't want to do. They might want to price things a certain way, but they've always got the backing from us now to assist. We do have a few certain things in terms of like approved services and approved products, so that we've got some guardrails, but it's not a super restrictive system. So, yeah, good revenues, good profits. Probably one of the other points of differences that we have is we're helping people right down to the P&L. So every month we sit down and do a review. We look at financial forecasts for the next month. We do a P&L review. Because I've done this for so long, I've actually built out the chart of accounts for everyone in Xero. They can go in, check the box, make sure the numbers and the percentages are hitting the right targets. If there's weak spots, we can provide recommendations, and that's just an absolute fucking superpower for trying to grow a business. That's something I didn't have until years down the track, and most people don't. Most people don't know their numbers. They don't have a system for forecasting and checking their numbers, therefore they're flying blind. It's literally like trying to play footy without a scoreboard or goalposts. How are you going to win the game if you don't know if you're winning or losing? So we do that. We look at constant training. So there's a whole bunch of training up front, and then constant sharpening the axe and getting better and better and better. So I would expect those numbers to maybe rise over time. But then again, there's also people that are quite happy doing certain numbers, and that's great. It just means they're getting, the flexibility and more freedom and doing the things they want to do, which is what business is all about. So that's the kind of shit that gets me out of bed in the morning. I'm really enjoying it. And the number one thing that's kind of the litmus test of, is this shit working or not? The customers like it. So all of our franchise partners are getting really good reviews, really good feedback from customers, and that is 100% all that really matters to me. If the customers are happy, everything under kind of flows and works. So challenges, there's always challenges. We recognize some constraints in some of our processes and technology, so we're hell for leather working on that, improving. I think the other side of that's going to be a massive uplift for everyone. There's some very cool things that we're able to do now, and I knew there would be problems. It was just a case of, let's get started and see what kind of problems we have, and then we'll fix them. So that's what we're doing. There's always an ongoing training thing. New franchise partners have a lot to take on. Not only are they learning a new business with lots and lots of little facets and different moving pieces, they're also learning how to be business owners. So there's a bit of effort and time that we're working on to help with that and facilitate that. And I think probably what we'll find is the next franchise partner that joins the network will probably have a little bit more stringent guardrails around what the training looks like, what you need to know right now versus what you can look up later. So yeah, that's definitely been a learning. And the other challenge, like I said, has been finding, filtering through the franchise lead inquiries, because it's honestly super easy to generate the leads. It's just probably more time consuming, more of a challenge to filter through. But that's something that we'll work on. There's definitely a lot of demand for people wanting to get into a franchise system, but for us, not everyone is the right fit. So there's also a lot of other widely known systems that might look similar to us, that though the people that would buy into that system are no good for ours, and vice versa. So there's a bit of work there. From a internal franchisor perspective, we've got a ton of work to do to start building out our own team. So obviously we've scaled right back. So I've got a really small team now, but we've got some plans in place to grow the franchisor team. So our job is literally making sure people kick ass in their fresh front business. Like that's the main reason. That's our main job. So pretty cool, pretty exciting. It's probably not what a lot of people think it is. Money-wise, there's not a lot of money in it. You do get franchise initial fees up front. I'll explain what they are. So when someone purchases a franchise system, there's an initial fee. Now that's basically the goodwill or the purchase fee to secure their territory. That's the fee to get trained up. That's the fee to purchase the rights to use the name, the intellectual property, and the brand. So when someone purchases with that initial fee, they're effectively buying a piece of everything I've created over the last decade, condensed and systemized so they can use it. They're also securing that territory so no one else can do it in that area. And they're getting a bunch of training. So that's what that is for. And then ongoing, there's a royalty. The royalty is for us just a straight percentage based. We don't really charge any other hidden fees or marketing funds or any of that stuff. It's super transparent. And it just means if our franchise partners don't win, we don't get paid. So then it incentivizes us to do more and make sure they win. It's a really interesting dynamic with that versus like your independent business. I should mention what we do as a franchisor. We're running all the marketing campaigns. So we're running a full digital marketing stack, Meta ads, Google AdWords, funnels, all the conversion stuff, all the digital plumbing in the background, landing pages. We run all the website. We run SEO to get everyone ranking in their local area. We're running automations as well so that leads are qualified, follow-ups, all that sort of stuff are done. We use ServiceMate software, but we've customized it and built some stuff over the top of that to make it run better for us. But we effectively manage all of that. We become the IT support people. So, ServiceMate 14 went out the other day. We're just going to roll that out, turn on the features for all our guys, inform them, keep them in the loop, do some training. Boom, they don't have to worry about it. So there's that side of it. And we also provide that business coaching piece. So whether you want to build something lean and mean or something that's much bigger, I've done it. I can tell you how to do it. I can tell you what's good, what's bad, what the pathway looks like, and help you through that. And we're going to build out a team to help us do that as we get bigger as well. So there's that piece. And then obviously the brand. One of our highest ranked search terms is actually brand search, which is pretty cool. So you're a fresh front, suddenly you get that brand equity, brand power. And finally, buying power. We've secured some pricing with equipment suppliers and things like that so that our guys can get set up with their equipment cheaper than retail. And then ongoing, they're able to buy stuff cheaper and run their business cheaper, which puts more money in their back pocket. We don't really do rebates or get cuts or anything like that. Everything we do is franchisee first. If we can secure better pricing, we can pass that on to the franchisees. The franchisees are going to make more money. They're going to tell people that they're making more money and having a better business. We can grow the network with more like-minded franchisees. That's how it works. So that is a very long game, but I've been doing it 10 years. Let's keep going. We're just getting started. That is looping back to my initial point. All of that stuff versus an independent operator. The independent operator is not getting the pricing. They're not getting all the lessons learned. They're not getting the branding. The marketing they either have to do themselves or they're paying an agency who will do a reasonably shit job because the agency's business model is getting you on a retainer and doing enough to keep you happy without doing extra. Because why would they do extra? They're not making any money. Yes, there's going to be great operators out there that will do that for a period of time, but as soon as they get successful, they will need to scale and they will hit the same constraint of I need to get Jimmy, who's on 50K a year, to do this Google AdWords account, but he's also got to do 20 of them and they're 15 different industries, so he can just do basic stuff and he's not going deep. So that is the problem. If you add up all those things as an independent, you're paying way more money for a lesser result, whereas a fresh front franchise partner is getting all of that deployed at scale, honed exactly for their business. So we will go in and spend time tweaking a campaign because we know it's our franchise partner's going to do better out of it, and that's how we get paid. So we spend the time. we're going to jump into their system. Like once a month, we'll jump into everyone's system, do some follow-ups, get some jobs over the line. Why? Because it's going to make them more money, which in turn, that's how we make money. For example, like Meta ad campaigns, we will look at campaigns, look at schedules and go, geez, Gary over here is maxed out for the next 2 months. He's got X amount per day on his current ad campaign, which is performing well, but there's no reason generating these leads. You can't service them. So we dial that down, we manage it. Whereas your agency is not going to do that. They're not going to go, oh, hey, are you really busy? Are you doing well? Are you crushing it with organic? Well, let's turn your campaign down, because you're going to go, well, what the fuck am I paying you guys for? So that is the model. That was my experience. I've worked with some of the best agencies in the country, but there's a point where like it just works to do it in-house. But then if you're independent, you just don't have the time to do it all. The great thing with what we have is our franchise partners get time to work on what's important, which is that local area marketing piece. That's the shit that's really hard to scale. And if you're trying to do that and digital and maintain a website and rank your GBP and work out how Zapier works and all this sort of shit, it's just a distraction from the main thing that makes you money, which is serving customers. So that's me off my soapbox. I think our guys have an amazing opportunity. It's not for everyone though. I don't try and sell this. If you ever talk to me about getting into Fresh Front, I will spend a long time trying to talk you out of it. And the comment that I consistently hear is, you're not trying to sell this. I was like, well, I don't have to. You don't have to sell something. We're on a mission to network with like-minded people. So that is the play thus far. We're speaking with a few people about the next Fresh Front business owner. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, definitely looking at moving into a new state. Victoria is probably the choice for a couple of reasons, and that's going to be more of a challenge. It's a new area, people don't know us, but very confident we've got a really good plan in place for how to do that. If you're interested in either being involved in the HQ, in the franchisor area, and you've got experience in that area, you know, digital marketing, you know, franchise operations, all those sort of things, I'm always keen to chat because we're building out a team around that. Likewise, if you want to build a Fresh Front, have a look at our website, get in contact with me, freshfront.com.au, have a look, let's have a chat. These are a series of conversations, and you won't have a hard sell. You will have me, the founder of the business, directly speaking with you. You won't have a franchise sales organization or some automated follow-up sequence. You will get the chance for us to have a chat, and you never know where it might be. At the end of this video, I'll throw down a bit of uncut, raw testimonial from our guys. We got all the trucks together the other day, and they had a bit of a chat, and we'll use that for some content, but I may as well throw it on the back of this video. And follow along. I will endeavor to be much more consistent, but hey, at least I've done it. Keep doing business and have fun. And one word of advice is, when you're in business, ignore what everyone else is fucking doing. Just do your own thing. Don't worry about what the $99 guy is doing or what I'm doing. Don't just do your own thing. Work out what your goal is and reverse engineer it into small steps, and then just keep making those steps. It is now time for a beer. We're rolling. Okay, Reese.
Hello.
Fun guy, Fresh Front, Adelaide Hills. Why did you do this? Why did you click on our stuff?
I used to work FIFO for a number of years, which was good for money, I suppose, but not so good for family. Yeah, definitely takes its toll. I was doing it for like 7 years, I guess.
Yep.
And I just had enough, and I'd always liked the idea of running my own business, running the show, so to speak. And I thought Fresh Front is a good option, and has been a good option.
Cool. And experience starting up, how did that go?
Good.
Outside of lots of training?
Yeah, well, you definitely, there's lots of training to get through, which is helpful. It's always there. It's just always good knowing that you have something to fall back on, which if you're out completely on your own, you don't have that. So that's why it was a good option.
And why didn't you just get like a mowing franchise or one of those other ones?
I don't know. Everyone does that, I guess.
Yeah. And what's different from actually doing it to what you thought it was from the start? Like, what's the kind of the light bulb moment for you?
Just when I see money coming in.
And how much money did you roughly do in your first month?
Something like just over 20, I think.
That's quite good. Thanks, Reese.
No worries.
Daniel,
Yes, sir.
tell us your story. What's happening, mate?
Well, I came from a hospital job where I was sort of stuck in the dungeons and doing the stressful work but not getting paid very well. And then you brought me onto the scene, 7 years ago, something like that, at Fresh Front HQ. We built the biz up, it was going well, and then here we are, basically.
And for the people at home, tell them what you're doing now, or about to do.
Yeah, well, about to jump on and run my own franchise, Fresh Front Campbelltown.
Cool. And what was the main driver to do that? Like, what was the appeal for you?
To take a bit of like control of my own life, basically. Go through your whole adult life just working for someone and not getting any real result out of it, as good as it was working for you. It's about getting a bit of flexibility someday.
Flexibility, probably building something for yourself.
Bit of wealth,
Yep.
bit of something for me and the family, yeah.
Yep, cool. And let me think of the next question. What was I going to say? Oh, and why did you invest all this money in just a pressure cleaning business? Like, what's different? It's not a pressure cleaning business.
Well, that's right. I mean, we do pressure cleaning, but it's a home care business. It's a business where we take care of people. It's not just about throwing water around. We give people great service and make people happy. And I've seen what this thing can do, so I want to do it for myself.
I think you'll do very well.
Thank you, boss.
Luke,
Yes.
proud owner of Fresh Front Happy Valley, Australia's cleanest, most detailed truck. Tell us your story. What were you doing previous to this?
I was driving trucks. I was an interstate truck driver.
Yep.
I was the Adelaide, Goulburn, Sydney, Melbourne. So I was doing that I was driving trucks for 19 years.
First,
Yeah, so I thought it changes better than...
And you obviously knew each other previous to this.
Yep.
You probably saw what I was doing.
Yep.
You tapped me on the shoulder and here we are.
Yep.
What was the reason for doing that? Obviously you had a great career in trucking. Money was good. Like, what was the reason for change?
I think I've seen, obviously, we'd known each other, so we'd followed the journey from the start, seen the growth, seen the potential, and then, I sort of got to a point where, got 3 little ones at home, needed a change, and this was sort of something that was quite easy to step into. I suppose the whole lot was just an easy transition.
Yep.
To step
And
into.
how's, like, you've never done a business before, so how does it feel, like, support-wise, getting set up? Like, it's a lot to take on.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
there's
that?
There's a lot. It's having never done anything like that, like learning how to send emails and stuff like that. So I've the support from like Marty, from Annalise, Daniel, is just like learning how to do things, the structures, the everything's in place, and you sort of don't have to worry. They've taken the worry and the guesswork out of everything.
Yep.
Which is great.
And is the business just going around cleaning things?
No, absolutely not.
So what makes a good fresh front operator? Like, based on your experience so far, what kind of person would do really well running this kind of business?
I think you've got to be driven.
Yep.
I think you've got to have a bit of ambition. I think got to show a bit of pride.
Yep.
Pride in what you do, pride in what you're trying to achieve, seeing results.
Yep. People skills, I would say.
Yeah, you got to be able to
pretty
talk
good
to
with
people.
Yep.
I've spent a lot of my life by myself.
Yep.
On the road in my own little world. So being able to talk to people and network and meet people and learn other people's backstories and stuff like that. You need to be able to sort of do that. and yeah, to be able to get your sell your things.
Yeah.
You know.
And the age-old question, money-wise, is it worth it for you? First month, never run a business ever.
Yep.
First month ever, you've got all the equipment, you've invested.
Yep.
Has that been worthwhile?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like rough figures, we're
we did 22 grand first month.
First month ever of business.
Yeah, and growing on that, which is good. Similar numbers for the second month. I had a week off to start with, and basically came 18 and a half or whatever it worked out to be. So I had like eight days off, so 9 days off for the month. So.
And the other question is, people say, is like, oh, is there any profit in that? You don't have to. We're not going to talk numbers, but
there's definitely profit in it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Oh, we just got to see how clean his truck is. Look at this. So this has done many, many jobs, and it's in very good condition. And obviously, we help you get up and running and set you up with all this and how to run it and how to keep it busy. So,
You can't clean houses without having a clean vehicle.
that's it. Perfect brand impressions. Gaz, tell us your story, mate. We know it, but you have to tell it for the people. So, previous to starting this business, what were you up to?
So I was Southern Regional Manager for a transport company for 30 odd years.
Yep. And I know why, but tell us about the corporate world.
Oh, look, the corporate world is energy zapping,
Yep.
and it's getting harder and harder in the corporate world. So
Yep.
I wanted to get out to the outdoors, meet new people,
Yep.
and have my own business instead
Cool.
of making money for everyone else.
Yep. And you were the first person really to take the plunge with us. So, new franchise system. There's a lot of stuff out there about what franchising is. And I think over time we had chats and you learned about what we're doing and it's paying off for you. Tell us about what that experience was like.
Oh, it's a great experience, yeah. Couldn't obviously be awarded with a better business partner in Freshfront. The
I'll
onboarding,
take the gun away now.
the onboarding experience was fantastic. The training is huge amount of training and online training as well. So I was able to develop the skills pretty quickly and get up and about and start earning some money while still having some flexibility.
Yep. And I think one of the key drivers for you is balancing that flexibility. So tell us about, like, numbers wise, what your weeks have been like. Although you're quite busy at the moment, it's a good problem to have. Tell us about the numbers and the goals for your week, flexibility wise.
Oh, look, for me, I want to work 4 days a week and have some quality time with the family. And when you're in the corporate world, the phone doesn't stop ringing, the emails don't start coming through, and all you're doing is problem solving 24/7. So to have that flexibility is what I was after.
Yep. And dollars wise, I think you're sort of just under the 20s.
Yeah, just under the 20 grand a month, and that suits me fine for what I need and
Yep.
provide me that flexibility as well.
Yep. Well, it's a great story.